Hello Dub Nation, it's always a thrill to connect with you, especially as we're about to reveal the latest news that could shape the fate of our beloved Golden State Warriors. But before we dive into this whirlwind of information, let me make a friendly request. Show us some love by clicking the like button to strengthen our bond, and hey, if you are not subscribed yet, join our channel for a thrilling and emotional journey. Don't forget to turn on notifications to stay ahead of the game.
I've been lazy. Jimmy Butler makes surprising confession after Warriors Game 6 loss. As the Golden State Warriors teeter on the brink of blowing a 3-1 lead to the Houston Rockets in the first round of the 2025 NBA playoffs, Jimmy Butler, a player known for rising to the occasion, is unexpectedly in the spotlight for all the wrong reasons. Yes, that Jimmy Butler, the one who helped shift the momentum of the season for Golden State, played a key role in the team's recent setbacks in Games 5 and 6. And in a rare moment of raw honesty, Butler admitted something you don't often hear from a veteran in a must-win scenario. "I've been lazy," Butler said after Game 6, where he dropped 27 points but struggled with efficiency, shooting just 41% from the field and a rough 17% from beyond the arc, according to SofaScore. "I need to go up there and grab more rebounds," he added. "That's on me. I should have been diving for loose balls, doing the dirty work. I'll do it in Game 7. I should have done it anyway, lead by example. If I do that, everyone else follows." It's a classic Butler move, taking accountability and using it to spark motivation for what's next. Despite being 35 and coming off an injury, Butler took on the tough task of guarding a physical force like Steven Adams for most of Game 6. That grind clearly took a toll, but his mindset is already shifting. With Game 7 looming on enemy turf and the pressure of avoiding a historic collapse, one might expect nerves or doubt to creep in. Not with Jimmy. "We're as confident as ever," Butler said with conviction. "Now more than ever, it's win or go home. No excuses. We know who we are and what we're capable of." He continued, "Like you said, a lot of us have been here before. It's on us to go out there and handle business." Whether Butler can flip the script in Game 7 remains to be seen. After all, he finished Game 6 with a team worst -12+-. But if there's one thing fans, and opponents, should never do, it's count Jimmy Butler out when the lights are brightest. As expected, Butler's candid post-game remarks sparked plenty of reactions around the league. Some praised his honesty and leadership, while others questioned whether his admission pointed to a deeper issue within the Warriors' locker room: fatigue, frustration, or perhaps cracks in team chemistry surfacing at the worst possible moment. NBA analysts on social media and sports talk shows didn't hold back. ESPN's Kendrick Perkins called Butler's comments refreshing, but concerning, adding, "You love the accountability, but if your leader is saying he's been lazy in a playoff game, that tells you something's not right." Meanwhile, JJ Redick defended Butler on his podcast, saying, "That's who Jimmy is, brutally honest and motivated by calling himself out. Watch how he responds in Game 7. He'll come out swinging." Internally, Warriors head coach Steve Kerr reportedly addressed the team with a calm but urgent message after Game 6, emphasizing the importance of energy and focus for Game 7. "We can't rely on talent alone," Kerr said in the locker room, according to sources. "We have to win the hustle, the effort plays, the things Jimmy just talked about." For Golden State, this series has been a roller coaster. What once looked like a routine first-round win has now turned into a pressure-packed, win-or-go-home scenario. Klay Thompson and Draymond Green have had moments of brilliance, but inconsistencies on both ends have plagued the team. And while Steph Curry has done his part, there's a growing sense that Butler needs to deliver a statement performance, not just in stats, but in tone and intensity, to avoid a stunning early exit. In Houston, the Rockets are riding a wave of momentum and confidence. Led by rising star Jalen Green and seasoned veteran Fred VanVleet, they've seized the opportunity and matched Golden State's playoff experience with youthful energy and relentless pace. After Game 6, Green said, "We knew they'd come out swinging, but we didn't back down. Now we've got one more job to do, at home, in front of our fans." Game 7 is set to be electric. All eyes will be on Jimmy Butler, not just because of his words, but because of the weight they now carry. It's not just about stats anymore. It's about backing up leadership with action. And for the Warriors, it's about proving that their dynasty still has one more run left in it. Tip-off is just hours away. Stephen Curry sends a powerful message to Jonathan Kuminga ahead of pivotal Game 7, "If you're called upon." The Golden State Warriors are officially in crisis mode. After once holding a commanding 3-1 lead over the Houston Rockets, they now find themselves heading into a nerve-wracking Game 7 on the road, a must-win situation to keep their season alive. Their latest 115-107 loss in Game 6 exposed some harsh realities. There were no excuses this time. Stephen Curry logged 42 minutes, as did Jimmy Butler, and yet it wasn't enough to stop a young, relentless Rocket squad. With momentum fully on Houston's side, Golden State must now regroup and find answers fast. One name keeps echoing louder with each passing game: Jonathan Kuminga. The 21-year-old forward didn't touch the court in Game 6, another DNP next to his name, despite showing promise earlier in the series. And now, all eyes are on what Steve Kerr will do heading into the season-defining Game 7. Steph Curry's message to Kuminga is crystal clear. In a moment of quiet intensity after the Game 6 loss, Curry addressed the uncertainty around the rotation and delivered a challenge directly aimed at Kuminga, a player whose talent is obvious, but whose role has remained elusive. "Everything's on the table, including him," Curry said. "It's the ultimate challenge to stay ready. I know he's answered that question many times. That is prepared. Now's the moment to prove it." Curry wasn't just offering encouragement. This was a call to action. "We're going into the film room to figure out our best possible lineup and adjustments. Everyone needs to be ready to contribute. If you're called upon to step in and change the game, be ready." Simple as that. It's a message that speaks volumes, not only about the high-stakes nature of Game 7, but about the Warriors' internal battle between trusting their core veterans and making space for their young talent to shine. Kuminga's moment of truth, and a chance to prove Richard Jefferson wrong. Jonathan Kuminga's absence hasn't gone unnoticed. In fact, it's become one of the biggest storylines of the series. ESPN analyst and former NBA champion Richard Jefferson recently made a bold claim: if this series goes to 7, Kuminga won't see the floor. He doubled down, suggesting Kerr simply doesn't trust Kuminga in a high-pressure playoff environment. That narrative could change in a single night. Despite playing limited minutes in Game 3, Kuminga made enough of an impact to earn praise from Draymond Green, not something given lightly in this locker room. But with Butler returning from injury, Kuminga's opportunities vanished almost overnight. Now, as Kerr hints that everything's in play, the door may reopen, and it's up to Kuminga to kick it down. Game 7 isn't just a win or go home for the Warriors. It might be a defining moment in Kuminga's career. A breakout performance could rewrite his place in the team's future. A no-show, or another DNP, could push him further down the rotation, or even out of the Warriors' long-term plans. There's a storm coming in Houston. And if Jonathan Kuminga is ever going to silence the critics and prove he belongs, this is his shot. The tension surrounding Kuminga's role isn't just media-driven. It's a conversation happening behind the scenes in Golden State's inner circle. Multiple sources close to the team report that internal discussions have intensified around giving Kuminga meaningful minutes in Game 7, especially given the physical toll that the Rockets have inflicted on Golden State's veteran core. The Warriors' coaching staff is reportedly split. Some assistants are advocating for Kuminga's athleticism and defensive versatility to help counter Houston's fast-paced, downhill style. Others remain hesitant, concerned about his inexperience in high-leverage situations. Exactly the fear Richard Jefferson voiced when he questioned whether Kuminga would even dress for Game 7. But the Warriors may not have the luxury of overthinking anymore. Veterans like Draymond Green and Klay Thompson have shown signs of fatigue, while Golden State has been outscored in second-chance points and transition buckets in 3 straight games. Kuminga, with his explosiveness and ability to switch on defense, could be exactly what the Warriors need to shift the momentum. Around the league, eyes are watching. Rival players and NBA insiders alike are already speculating. If Kuminga can show up and help push the Warriors into the next round, the narrative around his career, and the Warriors' player development strategy, could change overnight. NBA insider Shams Charania noted on a recent podcast, "This isn't just about Game 7. This could be the beginning of Kuminga's rise, or the moment that cements his status as a trade chip this summer." Meanwhile, in Houston, the Rockets are preparing for both scenarios. Sources say head coach Ime Udoka has already drawn up multiple contingency plans for the possibility of Kuminga being unleashed. "We expect adjustments," Udoka said confidently after Game 6. "Whoever's on the court, we're going to play our game, fast, physical, fearless." The Warriors' championship DNA is being tested in a way few imagined when they took a 3-1 lead. But now, with everything on the line, it's no longer just about Steph, Draymond, or Klay. It might be about the kid who's barely seen the floor, but has everything to prove. Jonathan Kuminga doesn't need to save the Warriors. He just needs to show he belongs. One dunk, one stop, one moment could tilt the game, and maybe even his entire future. The pressure is massive. The lights will be bright. But that's exactly when heroes are made. Warriors force Game 7, but it feels more like a warning than a win. The Golden State Warriors may have technically extended their season with Friday night's 115-107 loss to the Houston Rockets, but you'd be forgiven for thinking otherwise. It felt less like a game they lost, and more like a game that slipped away, one decision, one missed rotation, one bad foul at a time. I caught Game 6 at a neighborhood bar in Oakland during a birthday party for a guy I mostly know because our doodles get along at the dog park. At one point, I scanned the crowd and realized I was a good decade older than everyone else there, full of energy, invincible knees, and definitely not the type to commit 30 fouls in a win-or-go-home playoff game. Maybe that was the vibe foreshadowing what came next, a discouraging loss on home court that sends the Warriors back to Houston for Game 7 they never wanted to play. And yes, it also dangerously reopens the door to another round of jokes about blowing a 3-1 series lead. Again. The tone was set within seconds. Literally. Just 3.2 ticks into the game, Draymond Green launched into full Draymond mode, racking up a flagrant foul on Jalen Green that involved neck contact, some chaotic hand motion, and what appeared to be an accidental, we'll call it that, kick to the groin. And then, in peak Draymond fashion, he casually took a long swig from a sparkling glass water bottle on the bench. No word yet if it's a sponsor for his podcast. But the bigger issue? Golden State never found an answer for Fred VanVleet. Again. The Rockets guard put on another surgical performance, finishing with 29 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists, and 6 threes. It felt like déjà vu for Steph Curry and Kevin Looney, who are having flashbacks to the 2019 finals. VanVleet even opened the fourth with a 4-point play, triggering a Warriors collapse that lasted nearly 7 full minutes without a single made field goal. Houston's young core dominates the moment. Steven Adams was a wrecking ball down low, posting 17 points, 3 blocks, 5 offensive rebounds, and going 9-for-16 from the line, enough to break the Warriors' Hackaway strategy before it even got going. He swatted a Jimmy Butler layup early in the fourth, and from there, the Rockets went on a 26-13 tear that blew the game wide open. Alperen Sengun chipped in 21 points, 14 boards, 6 assists, and 3 steals. Tari Eason and Jabari Smith Jr. added efficient minutes off the bench, hitting timely threes and providing exactly the kind of youthful edge that Golden State lacked in the closing stretch. Despite a late push from the Warriors bench, the game never really felt close after that run. The final score, 115-107, doesn't fully reflect how decisively the Rockets closed it out. The stars delivered, but the support cast crumbled. Steph Curry, playing through a painfully swollen thumb, poured in 29 points and sparked an 11-0 solo run that tied things up late in the second quarter. He hit 6 of 16 from 3, but got little help from beyond the arc elsewhere. Jimmy Butler flirted with a triple-double, 27 points, 9 rebounds, 8 assists, and 12 of 14 from the line. But he also went 1-for-6 from 3, part of a larger trend where Houston dared the Warriors' weaker shooters to take those shots. And they did. And they missed. Buddy Hield went 0-for-4 from deep. Gary Payton too went 1-for-4 on wide-open looks. Draymond hit one early 3, then clanked the next 3. It wasn't just cold shooting, it was a lack of composure and rhythm, especially with Steve Kerr's revised starting lineup, which left Brandon Podziemski and Moses Moody on the bench in favor of Hield and Payton. The result? Hield finished scoreless with 4 fouls in 17 minutes. Payton was a -12 in 20 minutes. And the Warriors looked disjointed and passive, settling for 49 three-point attempts out of 90 total shots, and turning the ball over 16 times. 5 of those came from Curry. 4 from Draymond. Down by double digits with 7 minutes to go, it felt like they mentally checked out. So what now? Now the Warriors head back to Houston for Game 7 that nobody in the Bay Area wanted. Not like this. The team looks old. The rotations look uncertain. And no one seems quite sure if they should leave VanVleet alone on the perimeter. They shouldn't. If there's a silver lining, it's this. The Warriors can still win this series. But they've got to stop beating themselves. That means fewer turnovers, smarter shot selection, and getting Moody and Podziemski back in the starting 5, the group that had found real chemistry before this reshuffle. And if all else fails, maybe show the Rockets the current average rent in the Bay Area. Or the national student debt numbers. Or projections for sea level rise in the Gulf Coast. That might shake them up more than a weak double team on Sengun. Either way, this isn't about age or fatigue. The Warriors still have the talent and the will, but with their backs against the wall, they need to remember who they are, and play like it. The Warriors, back to the drawing board, and Houston for Game 7. As Golden State heads into what could be a season-defining Game 7, it's impossible to ignore the weight of the moment. The Warriors aren't just fighting for a spot in the next round, they're battling against their own narrative. After all, another blown series lead at this point would only fuel more of the 3-1 jokes that have haunted the franchise for years. For the Warriors, Game 6 wasn't just about bad shooting, poor rotations, and untimely turnovers. It was about the undeniable gap between them and a young Rockets team that seemed to thrive under pressure, with their fearless play and energy leading them to seize the opportunity. Houston's blend of youth and confidence was on full display as they capitalized on every misstep made by the Warriors. One of the most glaring issues for Golden State is their defense, or lack thereof. Fred VanVleet has torched them all series long, but this game, he was downright surgical. Despite Payton's best efforts to slow him down, VanVleet was everywhere, hitting clutch shots, making plays for his teammates,